Hello. Oh.
Doesn't
Hello.
that just excited?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Guys, I butchered the intro. I'm sorry. I've let myself down. I have one job. I just had to click it at the right time, and the more it didn't go, I clicked it again, which turned it off. Anyways, I'm sorry.
It was counting down. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna smile because this is not gonna turn.
I'm sorry. I'm
That
sorry.
was great.
Anyways, let's just move forward beyond that. Merry Christmas to you boys. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat who's joined us. Welcome to the MUTAGENTS live stream Christmas special. We appreciate you all joining us. First and foremost, obviously, we're a man down today. We're a trio instead of our usual group of four. Unfortunately, Enzo had some things he had to attend to for tonight, so he's not going to be joining us tonight. The three of us are holding down the fort tonight. We look forward to having Enzo join us for the January episode to kick off the year. But that's all right. The show must go on. And looking forward to having some fun chat with you guys tonight. We've got a fun agenda to go through. We are talking Christmas memories. Obviously, nostalgia is a big part of why we collect, and that goes hand in hand with all those awesome childhood Christmas memories. So looking forward to getting into some of that talk. And we hope that, you guys in the chat will have some fun Christmas memories to share with us. We're also going to be doing our regular figure spotlight segment. We're going to have the three of us doing that tonight, and we're going to finish up by talking about our top turtle pickups for 2023, which will be fun. And once again, we hope you guys in the chat share your pickups as well. A fun stream to look forward to. Thank you, boys, for joining us. How are you guys doing?
Very good. Very good.
Fantastic, mate. It's a Christmassy feeling 1 week out.
Oof.
Can't wait for it. I'm just looking at the chat. There's so many people there to say hello to.
There's a ton. There's a ton. Let's race through the chat just to say g'day to everybody. We've got Nate, the Retro Tinker, joining us. G'day, mate. Thank you for joining us. Mate. Hope you're doing well.
You're safe, Nate, because you're near the fires, I think.
For sure. Hopefully you're safe and sound there, Nate. We've got Scree Collects joining us. G'day, Scree. Hope you're well, buddy.
Great.
We've got Monique. Hello.
Wifey.
We've got Yeehaw. G'day. Thank you for joining us, mate. I did see your comment earlier, just real quick, about potentially adjusting the start time. It's a little bit tricky, mate. We're trying to please everybody here, but the biggest challenge, just to answer that question very quickly, the biggest challenge right now with going earlier on the start time is that Enzo, who joins us, he comes to us from WA. So at 8 p.m. for him, it's only 5 o'clock. He's still trying to get done with work and kids and all that sort of stuff. So right now we're kicking it off as early as we really can. Plus, if we run a touch later, that helps the guys overseas that are tuning in and hanging out. So just didn't want to leave you hanging on that question, mate. I did see that. So thank you for that.
Just to add to that, Scott, we are going to have a look at maybe the day that we do these. Instead of a Monday, we might move it around. So, little something in the works for next year, I think. For sure. Yeah, we'll revisit it. We'll have a bit of a chat between us and try and work out maybe see if we adjust that slightly. But appreciate you asking the question, mate. G'day, Jewel. Thank you for joining us.
A big sorry to Jules because I didn't get to see her at last CollectorCon. Apparently, she missed a lot of us. But sorry, Jules. Next one, we're meeting up.
Next one for sure. Which feels like an eternity away, but it's gonna slip up on us.
I'm having withdrawals already.
Yeah, I hear. We've got I made this. Ollie joining us. G'day, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in, mate. We appreciate it. We've got Steve. G'day, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hope you're doing well, buddy. We've got Nick.
How you going, Nick?
Turtle
We've got Plenty joining us early, which is awesome. Manic Moji. G'day, buddy. Thank you for joining us. We've got Maddie. Hey, Maddie.
You go, Matty.
Oh, Matty's out looking at some lights. I love, I'm keen to get your guys' thoughts on that. Is that part of your tradition, getting out and cruising around and looking at some lights? Because that was something that I remember fondly being a weeknight in the lead up to Christmas activity as a kid. So that was always fun. G'day, Jeff.
Yeah.
Joining us from London.
London. Hey, mate.
Oh, man. We got a really international crowd tonight, which is awesome. We got Chasing 80s, Chris joining us, which is awesome. We got the Toy Buster. Thank you, brother. I got the Clark Griswold Merry Christmas Kiss My Ass shirt on one of my favorite Christmas movies, so I've got to represent. I'm letting the team down as far as Christmas decorations go. The boys are carrying us, but I'm at least a little bit of a Christmas outfit going on.
There's a lot of colour in those cabinets behind you.
Perfect mixture.
We've got Simon.
Simon.
There you go, Simon.
We've got SC, which kind of looks like my other personal YouTube account. I'm not sure who SC is.
There you go, SC.
Oh, we've got Phil joining us. G'day, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Phil.
How are you, buddy?
And that covers us so far. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in early. It's just, man, it's awesome. I'm really excited to have you guys join us. Like I said, we've got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. But before we rip into talking about Christmas memories, something that I just want to cover off really quickly, the boys and I just want to cover off, as a lot of you guys who follow my channel will know, but some of you guys won't, particularly the guys outside of Australia. We lost a dead set champion of the Australian toy community about 3 weeks ago. The legendary Michael Green from Greeny's Toys is someone that has been a real fixture in my toy collecting since I started collecting about 5 years ago. Greeny's Toys had a great kind of brand and reputation as far as live streaming toy auctions, vintage toy auctions on Facebook. And yeah, man, I mean, myself, these boys with me, we got a lot of pieces in our collection that we've got Greeny's Toys to thank for that. But above all, guys, toys aside, he was an absolute champion bloke and had some health challenges that he faced for many, many years. And sadly, he passed away 3 weeks ago, which really sucks. It's very sad. But like I said, he was a big part of the toy community, but toys aside, he was a family man, young kids, everything to look forward to in life. So we just want to let anyone watching who is familiar with Greeny know that our hearts go out. So just wanted to cover that off real quick. We're trying to keep things festive here and keep things in a Christmas vibe, but people out there are doing it tough at Christmas time. So just want to give a shout out. And yeah, I mean, if you guys got anything to add, I know you guys were as fond as Greeny as I was, and you got pieces in your collection that are now all the more special to us.
Yeah, no,
definitely. Sorry, Dingo.
Yeah, I think you said everything. Like it hit the toy community massively, especially myself being the same age. It sort of made me look at my family and my. Like what was happening in my life, but Greeny, he was the guy who you went to for quality toys, quality turtles from my perspective. So the vintage sewer playset was the piece that I remember the most picking up from Greeny one night, and yeah, he was just dead set awesome guy just to deal with. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And look, the community has rallied as we were discussing before we jumped on board. It's been actually pretty incredible to see a lot of the Australian, toy Facebook groups come together with auctions, with just fundraising efforts, and have raised a lot of money and not just money, like a coming together of well wishes and positive thoughts for everybody that knew Greeny. So it's pretty special to see, man. It's not a nice time, but it's pretty special to see. So yeah, we just wanted to shout that out, mate. It's happened a couple of weeks ago after the last stream, so be remiss if we didn't make mention of this. And yeah, I mean that's about it on that. Dan, you got anything else to add there, mate, or have we covered it?
Just a big shout out to obviously Green being such a top bloke.
For sure,
so good to the community, so friendly to people who didn't know. Like a lady put something up for sale, and she was going to get ripped off, basically. And Greeny told her straight away, this is how much it is. Don't sell it for that. losing those sorts of people in the community just really does hit hard, you know. But then when you're a family man, you see a family get left behind like that. It's not a nice thing. But at the end of the day, too, it was a pleasure we got to know him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Over a little short period of time, you know. So,
Yes,
and he'll always, like you said, we've got parts in our collection from him, and they'll never leave my house, or they'll never leave our family, you know. So,
for sure,
yeah. And a big shout out to the guys who on Facebook groups who did do a lot of the fundraising to help out at the end there. I'll just mention Shane Gordon and Uncle T's. They did a lot of that, and big shout out to them because it was unbelievable, and big shout out to the community. You guys are awesome.
For sure.
But yeah.
G'day, Carl. Hope you're doing well, mate. As I'm sure you've clued on, mate. Yeah, we're just giving a shout out, paying some respect to an absolute champion, as you say. So, we just wanted to just share that real quick with everybody and just give a shout out in case anybody is watching this who's close to Greenie and his family that we're thinking of them. So yeah, that's that, guys. It's been awesome, mate. The fundraising efforts, the community coming together has been pretty special to see. So. And we'll move forward positively with that kind of energy. So yeah, guys, that's that. It's as hard as it is. We'll try to pivot from there to some fun Christmas talk, but I don't mean to abruptly go from that to positive stuff while other people are suffering. But it is what it is, guys. We're here for 90 minutes or so, hoping to put a smile on your guys' face. And just have some fun Christmas discussion. But yeah, guys, obviously we collect vintage toys, and a lot of the personal connection that we have with all this stuff that we collect, whether it's Ninja Turtles or whether it's other stuff, it started on Christmas. And I was actually working on a video over the weekend about a toy line, not Ninja Turtles, and I was talking a little bit about how lines like the Ninja Turtles, for me, came a little bit too early in my childhood for me to really remember the specifics of when I got things, as I can with other action figure lines that I collect and other vintage stuff that I collect, like the video games. I remember where I was and when I was when I got my Super Nintendo. I don't remember where I was or when exactly it was when I got my first TMNT figures. It's kind of vague memories. So unfortunately, I don't have any specific memories to say, oh, on Christmas 1990, I came downstairs and ripped open the Technodrome or the sewer playset, because unfortunately, I didn't have either of those big ticket items. And that's the other thing. When I think about my Christmas memories specifically relating to presents, the things that jump out to me are those big ticket items, the Super Nintendo or the big Lego sets that I had as a kid. And I was never lucky enough to have any of the big ticket turtle items. I had figures, I had smaller vehicles, but not the kind of bigger ticket items that I remember ripping open on Christmas. What about you, Dean?
100%. I swear to God that we had the same childhood. Like, I just feel like the way you articulate memories, I'm just like, because I always knew, like, because in 1991, I was in year one. So whatever year I was at school was the same year it was. I always knew that, but I never knew, like, I don't know, the years just, you were a kid. You didn't think about that sort of stuff. You didn't think, what's coming out this year?
It is funny you say that, but I do have vague memories of being in my class and at the top of your notepad writing the date each morning on what you were on. And I do remember getting to like 94 and 95 and just thinking, oh, this is so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your perception of time as a kid was totally different to what it is now. Like, one thing I was thinking about on the topic of Christmas is, like, Christmas is what? Christmas Day is Monday, right? So Christmas Eve is Sunday.
Yes.
So, but don't you reckon, like, as an adult, the Christmas period feels pretty short? It feels pretty truncated. Like, I set up my tree in mid-November just because December's not enough, right? It's like I need a little bit more Christmas than that. But it's still absolutely flown by. But I feel like as a kid, the lead up to Christmas felt like months. You know what I mean?
True.
Yes.
So, like, December felt like an eternity.
Yeah. So as a kid, so the 19th, tomorrow is my birthday. So that's a week out from Christmas. So as a kid, all I remember was Christmas and my birthday was like a whole year. plus you had the New Year period, you had all the festivities and all the family stuff. It just felt like that was the time of the year I got all these presents. I got all the new stuff. It was toys, it was stuff for school, whatever it was I got. It was all like dumped on you at that time of year. So that just made December like magical for the whole period. And I've brought that into my life. Like, I love Christmas now, as you can see. Decorations everywhere. The front of the house looks like Griswolds.
That's awesome.
We love it. And having a little one now, like, I get to enjoy that so much more with him. But what did I remember opening? Not Turtles. It wasn't Turtles. I'm just reading Carl. I remember opening, like, we had a pool at our house, so a lot of pool toys, a lot of pool activities and things like that, boogie boards and that. But the big ticket one that I started remembering, and it would have been around that 94, 95 mark, was the Star Wars figures, those Power of the Force big ones. So, what should that have a birthday?
Yeah, just to call out a couple of comments, because I want to try my best to actually stay on top of them this time around rather than playing catch up. Yeah, Sean, Christmas photos of gifts, like Christmas, like photos under the Christmas tree, rip and stuff open. In hindsight, I wish I had so many more of those than I do have. I've got a lot. I've featured them on the channel before in live streams and videos talking about my favorite presents of my childhood. I don't have any handy at the moment, but there's some of my favorite photos of my childhood, especially as a collector, because to be able to pinpoint the origin of our love for some of these items through a photo is pretty special. So yeah, that's rad that you got some photos. Yeah, Carl. I was year 2 in 1991, I believe. No. Sorry, other way. Well, no, I'm the same age as Dean, so I'm struggling to wrap my head around what year I was in 1991. But the only turtle I remember getting for Christmas was the retro catapult. That's awesome. Those were the kind of vehicles or, turtle items that I had as a kid, like those, the smaller vehicles and that sort of stuff. Nate's just agreeing that, yeah, the passage of time is real weird, isn't it? It's crazy how quickly the months go by. Like the Christmas period, especially, because it's like my favorite time of year. It just absolutely flies by. Just on this comment, Dean, did you love the time of year, like this time of year, or were you just like, oh, this sucks that it's so close? Like, or did you not feel like you went without anything? It was just doubled up.
Can you hear Dean?
Dean, we can't hear you, mate.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I was saying I never felt like I went without. And well, what sort of irritated me as a kid was family or relatives would give me one / Christmas present.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, if my birthday's in May, you wouldn't give me a birthday / Christmas present.
That's right.
But I know I loved it. I think that's what made me like who I am today. I think that's why I love everything so much. I think that's why I love the Christmas spirit so much, because that was the whole time. Like, work all year or play all year, and then you've got that end just to like kick back and I get both in one go.
That would have been a crazy week for your parents.
Yes, I did.
And then Christmas, like 5 days later. It's nuts.
Yeah, and I guess toys like Turtles and Star Wars were a great opportunity, especially for my dad, who was out grabbing all that stuff and buying it. It's because the lines were so big. Like, you get 2 turtles for your birthday, and you're like, oh, but I wanted that turtle. That was the one I asked for, and I didn't get it. But you just had to wait a week thinking, he's probably got it under the tree.
That's a good point. Yeah, so like whatever toy line you're into or video game you're into, you kind of had 2 bites at the apple to be able to put a little collection together or something. That's a good point.
But I'm one of 3 boys in the family, so we didn't really have Super Nintendos and those big ticket items that you got. So it was a few figures and maybe a small like playset, like the sewer tube or something like that. And then my brothers were collecting other things. Like my older brother, probably the time I remember, was just getting out of toys. I was more of a teenager then, and my younger brother was all into Lego. and Action Man. So my parents specifically bought certain lines for us. It was an easy way for us not to yell and scream at each other.
I can't give Dean too much of a hard time about mucking up with the mute button after after absolutely destroying the intro. So I'll go easy on him. Jeff's just talking about being slightly older. He remembers wandering around the shops when Playmates figures hit the UK trying to score a set of turtles for his oldest son, which is awesome, man. And big shout out to Jeff because Jeff's been watching the back catalogue of MUTAGENTS live streams and leaving some super interesting comments. So big shout out, Jeff.
That's how he says shots, so that means he didn't get him in the first shot. It was like a Turbo Man experience right there. Jingle away.
For sure.
Yeah, we used to get a lot. We used to get a lot of VHS, not cameras, but a lot of VHS tapes for Christmas and birthdays.
Now Chris from Chasing 80s Toys, he's posted on his awesome YouTube channel, and shout out Chasing 80s Toys. Very good. Lot of camcorder footage of Christmas with Motu figures and stuff like that, which is awesome. Like, my parents generally had the presence of mind to be taking photos, winding up and taking photos on Christmas Day, and then you get your photos back and you hope that you had a couple of good ones in the mix once you get them developed. But we never had a camcorder as a kid. We never had the old video camera and stuff like that. So that's like next level nostalgia.
You were loaded
to be able to have those old videos of the 80s.
Yeah, that's amazing to have that footage.
Okay, so yeah, Sean's slightly older, so he remembers the Turtles being released. I mean, I don't want, as an adult, you never want to be older, but as a kid, that would have been pretty cool to be just a little bit older, where you could, remember the kind of the Ninja Turtles catching fire, so to speak, in pop culture. So, oh man, Scree collects. Not only is his birthday on the 22nd, he's a twin.
Oh,
it's so harsh.
One big
brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a push back. Share it.
Yeah, I had. There was a kid in primary school who was on Christmas Day, and I always thought, man, that only gives you one day of the year. That's it.
But also, you got to share your birthday in a way. You know what I mean? Like, your family's all doing Christmas stuff on your birthday.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, every time.
Who blows out the candles?
That's it.
Half or
who knows?
All right, we got our boy Adam here. Adam, we were just saying before we went live, we were hoping you were going to be tuning in. Dan, do you want to tell Adam how the moustache version 2 came to be?
Yeah, so Adam, did he see me at Collecticon with the moustache?
No. He saw you in the Uncle T's Toys video.
Okay, so I was in the video, yeah. So he commented on it, wanting it back. Obviously, why did I have it gone by Collecticon, which was only a week later, I think. So, yeah, my wife seen the comments and told me that I had to come back for tonight only. Tonight only, but she did say. But she does have, terms and conditions, so.
Backed by popular demand, one night only.
Yeah.
But it is so much better with just a singlet.
I agree.
Yeah, good. Get it off.
Yeah, that
now I've just turned this channel red. What's going on here?
You're gonna get censored.
Yeah.
Where's his only
pasty white boy? Look at him. It's the British blood.
It's good. It's the weather for it. You got an excuse. I mean, if you were shirtless, it wouldn't be a drama right now. So, Manic Moji, think of all the toy lines you don't collect because your relatives only got you one combined present. Yeah. It's funny to think about that, though. Like, the stuff that we're super passionate about it because of the serendipity of someone getting you a Christmas gift or something. Like, if you were given something else, you might be passionate about something completely different, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, Scree. They get lit twice. That's funny.
It's a great channel. It is a great channel.
Yep. Shout out Scree Collects. Definitely check him out on Insta for sure.
Yeah, we inherited those turtles too of our uncles. So
that's awesome.
They're now my daughter's doubles. So
yeah, that was the era, wasn't it, Nate? Like, film was expensive, so you had to pick and choose your moments.
And what was it, 24 shots in the little reel camera?
Yeah, 24 shots, I think.
And if you open the window, you stuffed it.
Yeah, the whole reel was exposed. Yeah, I don't think. I think there might be one photo, and there's no like turtles in it. That it's sort of an overhaul of what I got at Christmas one year. That was it.
Sorry, guys. I'm just chuckling at the comments. But yeah, so
you said it last one.
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? So unfortunately, neither Dean nor I have specific memories or photographic evidence of getting turtles on Christmas, but someone that does is Dan, and we've got some photos here to share. So let me see if I can work out how to share my screen a little bit.
Don't remember.
Dan the man.
So it turns out I was 3 years old in this photo. So yeah, not gonna remember.
Can you guys see that?
Yep.
There we go. I'll try and zoom in a touch on this photo. So just a little bit. But yeah, so what do we got going on here, Dan?
I couldn't get the full info on what I got for Christmas, but by the looks of it, I got a party wagon. I might have got the full 10 here, like all the bad guys, Splinter, all the turtles. Because I don't have any other photos from other Christmases from getting turtles. So
is there a chance you had some of these already on like for Christmas and you just brought your figures out to play with, or you reckon you got all of them?
I could have, but being only 3 in this photo, it's like right around the time where I think they would have been hitting the Australian shores. Like
what year were you born? You were 87?
86.
86. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is early. This is 89. So Christmas 89.
Yeah. So I can't recall. I know I got the Foot Cruiser too, but I think that was a birthday later on. But yeah, it looks like I got a fair few that day. I wish I still had that box. And I didn't rip it by the looks of it, so that's even better.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I wouldn't have had the restraint to open the box that carefully as to preserve it, but you've done well.
And we put the stickers on box too. I can't remember. I'd say the stickers would have to be put on.
But, yeah, because you got a turtle in the front there.
Yeah,
Mike in the side.
Yeah, there's a turtle, and I must have got the skate. See the skateboard bar? I thought I got from like another family member, like not on Christmas. It was like a hand-me-down sort of thing, but maybe I did get one. So it's got a cheap skate at the front there too. So
I'm just loving the carpet, like
yeah, into teenage years, I think.
So Dan, Sean raises a good question here. So are any of these in your collection now?
Yeah,
like these specific items, all of them,
and
all of them besides that box. Nah, that box. No one believed in keeping cardboard back then. We threw it in the normal bin back then. Like, so it's
and they're not even a recycling bin.
I did with a lot of toys put them back in the box if I knew they didn't, like, say like airplane things that had wings and that. I'd put it back in the box so shit didn't break. But 3 years old, man, I don't think I was putting that back in the box anytime soon.
Well, no, but do you guys remember, like, did you have a toy box as a kid, like in the living or the rumpus? Like, did you guys have a toy box? I felt like that was like a real staple of our generation's childhood. But everything went in the toy box. Like, you know, you think about storing figures now in like, you know, in tubs, in baggies and stuff. Like, but everything just got dumped in the toy box. So that party wagon probably got dumped in the toy box without even closing the door. Hence the stress fractures on all the joints on all of them.
Because I'm an only child, we're in a 3-bedroom house. I had the end room was my bedroom, and the middle room was my toy room, sort of thing.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I had a twin door cupboard that had a toy box built into it. It was a massive toy box, like it was huge, and so I had a whole cupboard to put all the toys in. So I was pretty lucky in that sense, like, but with the turtles, like if you look at my ones, like the van's dirty, and I know Dean's got a thing too where he doesn't want to clean his van because it's kind of got like reminiscence of our childhood sort of thing.
Oh, really?
And I've kind of done the same with mine. It's the only thing in the collection that's not kind of clean. And
you know what?
Yeah,
I've taken a very different approach with my childhood stuff.
Yeah,
like so my childhood Raph. So my childhood Raphael figure. Let me just stop sharing my screen for a moment. My childhood Raphael figure, like when I was a kid, or my mum, whoever did it, whether it was myself or my mum, you know, like how you used to bust the original accessories off the sprue.
Yeah.
So one of like the edges of the side had like a big piece of the sprue still stuck to it. And like I trimmed that all down with nail clippers and like made it all nice and like cleaned up my childhood figures and stuff. So maybe that's like sacrilegious by
I probably would have done the same.
As an adult, you did that?
Yeah, as an adult. Yeah, like I found my childhood stuff and I'm just like, let me just tidy this up. You know what I mean?
Okay. But I remember you found your turtles first. That's what got you like into.
That's what got me going. So maybe maybe if I found them now, I'd be like, oh no, like you know. Whereas the crazy thing about it, some of my childhood figures, I don't think I could tell which, like, because I've got doubles and stuff. I'd hate to think that I'm selling a childhood version to keep a cleaner, but some of them have kind of got mixed up a bit, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, I was talking to Dan about that. Like, funny you said it because it was yesterday. I was talking to Dan, and there are some of my figures that I know I've got another figure, and I guess upgrade to it. But in the end, I kept all my card backs for my turtles as a kid, so I know any other figure I don't have two of. That's my original childhood figure, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Yes, Jeff, dumped in the toy box, mate. In the toy boy? No, the toy box, yeah. Everything just got dumped in the toy box. Accessories.
Yep.
You know, vehicles.
I think we had two toy boxes, and then toys were just everywhere.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing. As I made this is pointing out, like I had no realization as a kid that the sprues for the '88 figures were weapons racks. I didn't know that until I discovered that as a collector. Did you guys have any sense of that?
Yep,
not at all.
Yeah,
observant.
Yeah, no, I kept all mine. There was no play feature once you took them off because you couldn't hook them back on. Like you couldn't hang them. Like,
but you could kind of lean them, couldn't you?
You could lean them. They got little lean things. But like, think about the gun rack for Castle Grayskull. You can hang all the weapons on those little pegs. There was no play value in the rack once you twisted them all off.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I was a chewer, so I would chew on a lot of my accessories and things like that as a kid. So I definitely know which ones are vintage there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it.
Alrighty. While I'm sharing the photos, let me just. So we've looked at that one. Let's just have a squeeze at the other one. Is this Christmas as well?
No, we did that one.
Which one? That one's Christmas.
Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Hang on, sorry. Let me stop. Guys, I'm hopeless tonight. I'm sorry. Let me.
End of year. End of year.
Christmas shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. We got this one. Can you see that one now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Christmas as well? Yeah.
That was a Christmas gift. I can't recall it was Christmas because I've not seen anything up in the background. I don't think so.
But that was a gift. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was like one of those. Yeah. I think it was a family member that bought it for me.
So what's your age there, you think?
I was a pretty tall kid. I was lanky. So I'd say 4. If the other one was 3, I reckon I was about 4 years old. You've seen what my daughter's like. She's under 2 and she's bloody catching up to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that costume. And
do you want to bring up your photo of you in it? Of you in yours?
Yeah, let's have a look.
What's funny is Mikey's my turtle. Mikey's my turtle and Dean's favorite is Raph. We had opposite costumes as kids. So
yeah.
We only knew each other. We could have traded, man.
So yeah, and it's the same costume. Hey, like it's the same. It's the same. Obviously, it's Mikey as opposed to Raph, but it's the same style of costume. Hey,
they look like it.
That was a logo.
That was a pant. No, it's not. I've got a year 6. A 6-year-old turtle badge on there. I don't know if you can zoom in on that.
Yeah.
But that came with a birthday card. Oh, sorry.
and you put it on the costume. That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a badge.
Yeah, can you zoom in on the badge?
We're sharing your screen. I can't.
Ah. Why is it not letting me do it?
But yeah, is it a badge off a birthday card?
Yeah, it is. It's a badge off a birthday card.
Like I'm 6 or something like that. I'm 5 today.
Yeah, but I remember those costumes. I reckon we had 1 or 2 of them. I feel like we had Donatello as well because my younger brother. There was always both of us dressed up in these. So I remember they had the pants and the top, and then you had to sort of tie on the orange, like they were sort of foam padded knee pads. And that's just a big hot plastic shell that went on.
I'm pretty sure mine deteriorated the foam in it over years. Yeah. It kind of like started falling over, so you get like chunky bits in areas and stuff.
So that was something I said to that.
You put that
to my
costume
dad,
on.
I said to my dad, "Do we still have them?" He's like, "No, they went so long ago." And also, I'm so upset.
That's awesome.
All right,
good fun.
And you know what? This is the other thing it's probably interesting to people that are outside of Australia is like Christmas is obviously in the middle of summer for us, so it's very much you raised a really interesting point before, Dean, about pool toys and stuff. Like it's 25, 30 degrees here at 9 o'clock at night. Like we're in the middle of summer for Christmas, and that very much impacted our Christmas experience. Like the big thing for me is Christmas being in the pool, or the absolute a real staple of my childhood Christmases were the cul-de-sac or the street. So every childhood home that I lived in, I had 2 main childhood homes. They were both on a quiet suburban street with a cul-de-sac down the bottom. And Christmas morning, it was all 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. Once you've had that initial burst, everyone was out on the street with remote control cars or skateboards, bikes, rollerblades. And it was just rollerblading. It was just so special to like peek your head out onto the street on Christmas morning, in the late morning, after kids open their gifts or families open their gifts, but before you got dragged off to a Christmas lunch. It was that golden few hours of a late morning where everyone was out on the street. It was the best.
Yeah, but see, we were massive into costumes back then. Like we had turtles, we had like ninjas, we had army soldiers, we had all that. And all those costumes, full decked out, you would go in the pool. Like you're a turtle. You can go in water. You go in full dress. And it was fantastic. So
it's so funny you say that. So you guys, and I'll try and catch up on the comments in a minute, but you guys have obviously the awesome TMNT costume photos and memories. So I can't remember what year it was, but I think there's probably a good 80% chance that it was 1989 for obvious reasons. But there's photos that unfortunately I can't find where I'm in a full Batman costume and I'm in the black, the all black with the yellow. So it's after 89. Otherwise, it would have been the grey and the blue. But I'm in a full Batman costume in a kiddie's pool, full costume in a pool, playing around in a pool with my brother wearing a black cape, because when I opened my Batman Christmas costume, he just threw a fit. And he was probably only, if it was 89, I would have been 5. So my brother was only probably 2. He had a go, and my nan made him like a Batman cape, because this was back in the days where maybe it still happens, but grandmas would just make stuff. They'd knit stuff. They'd be always making stuff. Like my grandma would just like, oh, cool. Someone like a kid's crying. All right, what do we need to do? Let's just get an old like sheet or something, and like made my brother a Batman cape. And I'm in the kiddie pool with the full costume, with a full Batman costume. It's awesome.
Can I border that? That is absolutely amazing. And it was the exact same what we did. So I was Batman. My younger brother was Robin. So there's a photo of us dressed, and like he must have been like, not like probably 2.5 or something at the time, but we continued doing it all the way up. And my brother was my best man at my wedding. So what I did was I bought Batman and Robin cufflinks. So we wore them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool little symbol of the childhood.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Man, I just love the 80s. You guys jumping in pools fully clothed. It's like... They would not. If they seen a kid doing that these days, people would be rushing.
Yeah. Mate, we used to be in a full like army soldier, everything.
He dies.
You walk in the water. Bring it on.
I can't keep up with all these with the comments and big shouts to everyone who's getting involved in the chat. But yeah, a lot of people have memories of toy boxes, which is awesome. Like I don't know if it's part of me feels like I need to get like an 80s or 90s style toy box for my collection room where all the bagged up doubles go. You know what I mean? Just to kind of bring back the spirit of the toy box. So it's awesome to see that a lot of peeps have toy box memories of their childhood. But I do want to call out this comment because it really should be called out. Sean saying we probably owe our parents a lot of credit for making our childhood Christmas times great, and we absolutely do. I'm super grateful for the childhood I had, let alone the Christmases of that childhood. But some of my best memories of my childhood are Christmases. So big shouts to all the parents who gave us the Christmases we had, and you blokes who are giving your kids awesome Christmases to this day. So that is just awesome.
One of the things you were touching on too about looking out the front window, cul-de-sac living. I was similar, lived in a cul-de-sac. I remember looking out the front window on Christmas morning, and I'm not using a fake name. His kid was called Johnny. He had a 6-wheel remote control car. And like, it was one of those things you'd look out on Christmas morning and you'd be like, what's the next kid got? What's he end up getting? And there was always one kid that trumped you. There was always one kid in the street that trumped you. Had a better bike, better remote control car. But it's like just thinking back after you talking about that, it's just reignited that memory of, I was excited for some other kid, but then also down because I didn't get that car, but
for sure. Because that was the thing, mate. Like, obviously, you were super excited to, race out to the living room and rip open your presents. And in our house, like, if I started opening presents without my parents being there, again, this is the era where like kids copped a smack, like it wouldn't be good. So we were always like gently trying to wake our parents up, but like trying to do the right thing and stuff like that, and wait till the family's up, and then mum and dad are dragging their heels, making a coffee or something like that. But obviously that burst of excitement initially was about opening gifts, but being out on the street, to your point, Dan, it was also that cool feeling of like sussing out what your mates got and stuff like that, and just sharing in the stuff that they got and that. So it was just the best, man. Like it was the best. Sorry, Dan, go ahead, mate.
I was just going to say, touching on that, like getting up early as a kid on Christmas Day, like you didn't sleep the whole night because you knew what was happening the next day. You woke up at 5:30. There were times my parents took me back to bed and said, go back to bed. No one's getting up yet. As a kid, you don't realize until an adult all the effort and work that they still have to do after you open the presents. Like you run off to your bedroom and you're playing with all those new toys and having a great time. And you're waiting for the auntie and uncles to come over for Christmas lunch and that. But the parents are now cleaning. They're making lunch. They're getting everything ready. And you don't realize that as an adult. And I think that's the biggest thankful part that I took as a kid, because my mum would just have a bell when it was dinner time or something. It'd just be like ding, 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 ding. And we'd like jump out of the pool or wherever we were in the house, and everyone would just converge on the table. I was like, crazy good.
Yeah, like as a kid, there was no sense of like, Mum, like, do you need anything, or can I help, or like that, or even can I set the table? No, like
you don't even remember seeing the kitchen. It's just toys focused, or you're out the front. If you got a push bike, you weren't in the house for the whole day.
That's it.
Like it was
till the sun goes down.
Definitely. Ollie from I Made This is just saying, when listening to several American podcast live streams, it seems like parents would have their toys open and set up ready for kids to play with. And then he's saying, what's that all about? Half the fun was opening them. And I agree 100%. There was exceptions for us. So, and they were often like the bigger outdoor stuff. Like one of the earliest Christmases I remember was, we got a swing set and stuff like that. And again, because it's summer here, like you going outside, it's a lot of outdoorsy stuff for Christmas. So, and, we were living on a farm at the time in North Richmond, and I was super young. It was like my kindergarten year. So it was either the Christmas leading into kindergarten, probably leading in. So I'm 4 years old, and I got a swing set. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I learned that my dad and my uncle were up till like 4 a.m. trying to put it together in the dark, because we wouldn't go to bed and they'd had too much to drink and they were struggling to get it together. And when we were on it the next morning with the cousins, they're like, just please don't let this thing fall apart. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But aside from that, it was if it was action figures, if it was a remote control car, if it was Lego, that wasn't being gifted to us assembled. That was for us to do. And then on Christmas morning to realize, this doesn't come with batteries or whatever. Like I'm sure we've all got those memories.
Oh, yes.
I have a really good one like that. So if anyone remembers the Sega Master System, I got that for Christmas one year, and it had my mother bought, I think, 2 free games with it, but it had inbuilt Alex the Kid.
I love that game.
Yep, so good.
So Mum realized, she remembered that. It sunk in her memory. A couple of years later, I got the Mega Drive console. Now, I don't know if you remember, the back of the boxes on these consoles had maybe 10 or 15 games, pictures of the game. My mother thought they were inbuilt at the time, so she didn't bother buying me any games for the console. So when I got the Mega Drive, it didn't have an inbuilt game.
That's brutal. I mean, that's awesome. You got a Mega Drive, but damn.
I think I had an uncle at the time that had one before me, so I ended up going and grabbing some of his games. So it was all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's just funny memory that I can kind of remember back on. But
that's awesome. Yeah, Jeff. No chance of snow. It's funny. I wouldn't have it any other way, just because that's the way it is for us. But with that said, I've never experienced a white Christmas before, so that's something I'd love to do at some point, whether it's in the UK or somewhere in the US, or where because somewhere in the US, obviously, where it's snowy at Christmas time. It's something I want to experience for sure.
Yeah,
you guys had a white Christmas before?
Never. I've never even seen the snow. I don't know.
Oh, you've never seen
I should do that.
Yeah.
But is it like the movies, I guess, is the question? Like, you watch all those Hallmark movies and Christmas movies, and it's like, is it kind of like that? Or is it just really cold and you don't want to go outside?
Well, the snow that we get, like I've been to Threadbow and stuff when it's snowing, and it's it's kind of a poor excuse for snow when by comparison to what you see in movie, when you watch Gremlins or something like that. But I'm sure some of the guys in the chat can tell us who live in the UK or snowy parts of the US or Japan or anywhere else. G'day, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice Christmas so far.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like for Australia, we would have went out on our push bikes or something like that, but over in, say, a winter place where it was more snowing at the time of Christmas, they'd go out in their like sleighs, like their little sleds. Toboggans and stuff. So I guess I'd hope it was more like that. I hope they're just not freezing cold, just sitting inside all day out.
Yeah.
I guess if you had the family spirit around you, it's awesome, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about what you're used to. Like, I imagine if you grew up with a white Christmas and like you moved somewhere where it didn't snow at Christmas anymore, like it would probably be a situation where it's like it just doesn't feel like Christmas,
Yeah. I remember I got done Christmas twice with rain. I got a push bike and a scooter one year, and it rained the whole day.
But then again, like some Christmases, I'd be happy with a nice chilly Christmas, because sometimes it just gets so hot that you just can't do anything.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good question, actually, because we probably should move on to our other topics, because we've been going for a good chunk of time. But as adults, do you guys? Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been awesome. Do you guys buy yourself a gift? You know what? I don't go out of my way to buy myself a Christmas gift, but one thing I do is any of my regular pickups, any of my regular stuff that I'm buying that arrives after mid-November, it gets wrapped up and goes under the tree. So I've got about, maybe half a dozen little things, mate, little individual figures or accessories or whatever that I just make a point of for 6 weeks or so. Let me just stockpile them so on Christmas morning before I go meet with my family, because I got presents under the tree for my dog and stuff like that. But the other thing is, it makes the tree look awesome. Like, to have a tree with not much going on underneath it, it just ain't right. So that's the other byproduct.
You tell yourself you're only allowed to take one toy to your mum's house.
Oh, that's awesome. What about you guys? Do you buy yourself something for Christmas or not so much?
Go down.
So yeah, now that I've got a daughter, I think my Christmas money's just gone.
Yeah.
So,
I can imagine.
I will use it to kind of make an excuse to buy something. So if I see it like something there, I'll be like, "Oh, Christmas is coming," So I probably do use it, but I normally get the item before Christmas, so it's kind of pointless, really. But yeah, most of it goes on the daughter now.
I don't buy myself Christmas presents, but I like to make a lot of hints to people what I would So no, it might be just like video games or something like, hey, there's these new video games out. If you haven't got me anything, but yeah, I'll let people know, but I won't buy myself and wrap up.
That's a good point, Nate, as well. Like, shout out to the folks for like keeping the surprise when they had kids that were actively trying to spoil the surprise and snoop and stuff like that. So
we got Indy the new retro release of the Party Wagon this year for Christmas. Yeah. So she's been trying to get my one out of the cabinet for ages. And as you know, they are pretty brittle on their hinges and that. So yeah, Christmas morning she'll finally get her own one, but it's re-release obviously, but
very nice.
It'll work. It's kind of cool because we do have that photo now, so I can reenact that maybe.
Oh, nice.
let's see a now and then photo side by side. I love that.
Make sure you get.
And she does have all those figures too. So yeah. Anyway,
that's crazy. Ollie's saying living in the UK, I remember one white Christmas in 40 years. I just assumed. I mean, from seeing movies and stuff, I just assumed that it's just a given. You get snow at Christmas time. So there you go.
Well, certain parts of America normally do. But.
Yeah, Adam, I can imagine. I can get the sense that maybe having a hardcore snowy Christmas is maybe better in theory than practice. But I've never experienced it, so for me, it's the stuff of Hallmark movies, not of being cold and inconvenienced.
100%.
Alrighty, should we move on to some figure spotlights?
Yeah.
Who wants to kick it off?
I think Scott has to.
Scott has to, because he didn't do one yet.
Alrighty, I'll kick it off. And then again, I'll try to catch up on comments. But again, big shouts to everyone who's hanging in with us and who's getting involved in the chat. I really do appreciate it. I normally try to be super disciplined about getting all the comments on the screen and interacting as much as we can. But you guys are too active in the chat for us.
100% Ski. 100%.
Alrighty. So my figure spotlight is Wingnut. Okay, so 1990 figure. Let me just see if I can put myself on the. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So my figure spotlight is Wingnut, and Wingnut was obviously one of those figures that came with the sidekick accessory, and I'm always a big fan of a sidekick accessory. I would love to make a video one day where I just look at my favorite, we look at the sidekick figures in detail and talk about some of my favorites because there's some absolute beauties. And with Wingnut, we've got Screw Loose, a little mutant mosquito who is just awesome. And there's some interesting stuff about Wingnut. Like obviously with Wingnut, if you look closely, you'll see we've got like a straight up parody of, the Batman superhero style with the, with the jumpsuit and the mask or cowl or whatever you have. And it's pretty cool, man, that we've kind of we've got that Batman superhero archetype kind of flipped on its head with a bat, with a bat that's, posing in his kind of superhero getup. And there's some cool details with this figure. Like if you look up close, so you've got a few accessories. You've got a utility belt, which is obviously a massive nod to, to the Batman character. We've got two additional accessories here in like the bat gun and the grenade. And we've discussed in one of the, we spoke in a recent MUTAGENTS live stream about accessories and the notion of accessory storage. I'm big on accessories that can either hold, wear, or store all their own weapons. And that's what we have with this guy, with the exception of the sidekick. But the sidekicks get a pass because obviously they can stand on their own feet.
He does sit nicely on his head when you display him, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So but he doesn't have like. Do you mean just resting?
Yeah, he sort of just nestles in there nicely like that.
He does too. That's awesome. So in addition to the weapons and the utility belt, we've also got his actual wings are peg-in accessories. And the interesting thing is, when it comes to the vintage TMNT line, accessories or, additional parts generally didn't get any paint apps. But with Wingnut, we've actually got, painted brown details on his wings. And the cool thing with that is it reveals that you've got his little tiny shrunken brown wings with the mechanical wings built onto his own organic wings, which is kind of cool. I think that's like a nice little detail. Now, from what I understand, Wingnut and Screwloose.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Wingnut and Screwloose were villains in the animated series, but in the Archie comics and in the the action figure storyline, they're allies of the Turtles, and it was Donatello who kind of who engineered the wings of Wingnut, which is pretty cool. Now, one extra little detail that I have noticed through seeing some really cool toy photography on Instagram is that Wingnut has hooks in his talons, right? And you can actually hook him onto the sewer playset antennas, so he hangs upside down like a bat.
I've never seen that. That is fantastic.
Which is pretty cool. So I think you would have to hang him from the rear ones, because the rear ones actually hook over. So you could, because I've seen that before, but I've never tried it myself. But it must be the rear ones. So you have him hanging upside down like an actual bat, which is kind of cool.
It's cool.
Fun little way to display him. But yeah, guys, that's it. I won't go in any further detail than that. Really cool figure, really nice accessories. Stores all his own accessories, which is wicked. And love it. That's Wingnut.
How many slices of pizza does Wingnut get?
So that's a good question. Big shouts to Scree for our figure grading system. Slices of pizza out of 8. I'm going to give Wingnut. I'm going to give him a solid 6 slices.
Nice.
I've got about 20 figures that are in my top 5. Wingnut's probably not one of them, but he's one of the 40 figures that are in my top 10. So yeah, big shout out.
No figures ever going to get low numbers.
No, you're 100% right.
Playmates killed it.
Hang on, what am I doing here? There we go. So we got some Wingnut love.
Very nice.
What's your thoughts on them doing the mini creatures in the new movie? Oh, they didn't do the Screw Loose or.
That's a good point. Yeah, fish sticks for Ray Fillet.
Yeah.
They didn't do any of that. They could have made some really cute little characters that really. It would have popped even more,
But it does leave it open for the second movie.
True.
I guess we all wanted everything straight away. I guess I think that the movie did well. So not to get sidetracked, but I think the movie did well, and the second one's coming. The TV show's coming, so I think there's an opportunity to see them all eventually.
100%.
Speaking of
I just want to acknowledge that's a really good point. Yeah, how on the card backs you do have some painted details in some of the sidekicks, specifically fish sticks. I've seen my Ray Fillet card back has fish sticks in yellow and red, which is pretty cool. But some paint apps would have been nice there. But we move on. What do you got for us, Dino?
All right, I am putting the spotlight on one of the Toon figures. But not just your everyday turtles. I picked.
Oh, the man.
Yeah.
Vern.
Remember his name?
Vern.
Well, there's Vern and Burn, isn't there?
Yeah. Vern Fenwick is his name.
That's right. Vern Fenwick.
Yeah. These figures
love his voice.
The plastics of these figures, they're different. All the Toon figures, the plastic they made. I don't know how you sort of articulate that to the normal turtles. It's like a softer plastic, very much bendier.
Like movie stars?
No, not like rubbery. Just sort of
a little bit more
similar to Dick Tracy's figures, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like Dick Tracy figures. But what they decided to do with a lot of these Toon figures was sculpt things into the actual figure themselves. So Vern actually has his camera sculpted into his hand. So as he's a cameraman, he's taking his camera photos. But then, of course, all the turtles come with their wicked little accessories. So I actually wrote these down because there were so many of them. So you've got his press pass for his Channel 6 there. And then you've got a pencil knife. So that's his pencil knife.
That's
you
cool.
hold. You've got a little headset unit.
Oh, that's cool.
On, which then connects, and I don't want to put it in, but it connects to the little baggy sort of tape recorder that would go over his shoulder. And I'll lose all these. And then you've got the clipboard, but it's not just a clipboard; it's a clipboard shield, which I don't know how he would hold it probably. But just
does it have writing on it, or is that just little scribbles?
Hold on. Here we go.
Here comes the old man eyesight.
Yeah.
Getting older
I
more.
reckon if you got a magnifying glass, you could probably make out a little bit of it. But like, it's just a clipboard, but they made it a shield.
You really don't see those accessories often, too.
No, so
nice.
This is a childhood favorite. This accessory will be pretty well used by another Channel 6 reporter. So this is the gun hidden April O'Neil.
Is that one of his accessories as well?
Yeah. So
he's got heaps,
all of them in yellow. So he's got his little hidden pistol.
I never knew they did that. I never knew they reused the mold of the pistol and camera.
Well, it was Playmates. Playmates reused the mold of a lot of
Oh,
things.
they all did it. They all did it this time for sure.
So what else has he got? He's got a little bum bag on the side.
So does his arm have a wacky feature or something? I heard it when you moved it.
No, it's just squeaky. That's
just
his
wacky feature. Okay. So I guess you're probably right. The type of plastic is different.
It is. It's really shiny, glossy plastic. Like I'm not very articulating that very well.
So that's your childhood toy?
Yeah.
But with all the accessories.
You kept that in really good nick.
Come on, Scott. It's like you just met me. I didn't like this one. What did you do with Vern? You had April. You put Vern next to it.
That's
I've got Vern.
I've got
Vern. But there's not much you could do with that play value besides background sort of character. Put him in maybe the van or something.
Yeah. He's not kicking ass, that's for sure.
He's definitely not kicking ass.
I mean, Shredder could take him hostage, I suppose. Maybe a little hostage angle. I don't know.
Yeah. So he was completely written for the cartoon TV show, just to thicken up the storyline. And I don't think he was brought back until the Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
Hang
on, there was what about the 1990 movie? There was male cameramen in the Secret of the Use.
I don't think it was him. I don't think they ever said it was him. I don't think he was. He does come with more accessories. Sorry, he's little TV.
Little TVs.
All that does. I don't know if you can see it. Is that working?
Arms move.
He's lifting the camera up to his eye, so he's doing the play feature.
Yeah,
of moving the camera like that. So every one of the Toon figures, including the Turtles, all came with these TVs. I don't know why they were watching themselves. But it was the 90s.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with it's funny. I was big into wrestling as a kid, which meant that I was big into storyline angles that applied to my action figures. So sometimes I apply that kind of thinking to the other action figures. Like, what scenarios would have I come up with?
So this guy's pizza slices for me.
Yep,
he's going to be a 1.
1.
Yeah, this accessory does nothing to me. Headset does nothing for me.
No wonder it's so mint.
But don't you appreciate the sculpt of the figure? Don't you appreciate the
yeah?
But
playability, I understand.
But if you've got Wingnut at what did you say? 6. Vern's at 1 for me.
So Vern doesn't even get a pass mark. He's just a leftover slice.
I will give Vern 2. I'll give Vern 2. I'll give Vern 2 for shininess.
Quarter of a pie. I do appreciate the shininess, like the pearlescence of the Toon figures. I like that.
Yeah, no, I do like that as well.
That'll bump him up to a quarter pie.
He's a 2. I'm locking it in.
Wow.
No, I mean, Vern would have been what we in the wrestling business call, enhancement talent or a jobber. He just would have got his ass whooped by like the superstars. You know what I mean? Just to build them up.
What do you got, Dan?
Okay.
Do your spotlighting.
Okay.
Hang on, sorry, Dan. Let me get you on. Hang on. What do I do? How do I do this? I'm hopeless tonight. There we go.
Okay, so
Adam agrees
my
with me.
one is one of mine's Muckman.
Ooh.
So yeah, this figure is anyone actually owns this figure, it's in the chat. Like you can look at this figure for 20 minutes and you're still going to find new things on it, you know. So first off, he actually does come with a sidekick too, which is Joe Eyeball. And as you were saying before in chat, even on the cover art of this, these actually had white painted eyes. They never painted, you know. I don't know why they didn't do it. I guess money. Who knows? But when you look at it like a weapon, for example, on it, he has the muck gun, which is like I'm just gonna put the figure down just for a sec. But what it is a ketchup bottle, a soup can, and I think there's a can of peas, and it's all
Can I just say I'm loving this segment because I've never looked at the bazooka or the cannon.
Oh, really?
I've never looked at it that detailed.
And the beauty of it too is, as you can see, you can actually see through it. So the scopes actually works, you know. So we're back to the actual figure. So yeah, this probably I wouldn't say is my most favorite figure, but if I had to say what sculpt did Playmates make that just hit it out of the park, and whoever they would have got the best sculpt of the year if they had to choose them, you know, like they just did an unreal job. And as in anyone that's used this figure before, you could put ooze in the back of the muck pack, which was the little trash can he got in the back here, and it would also leak out of his internal gut hole. You also could take the top of the head off.
The little banana peel cap thing.
So
which is
you could pop
always
that cap
missing.
off there. And
but where would it come? Would it come out of his nose or his mouth?
It would come out of his mouth, I think it was. I've never used it. And what I found funny was when I was doing some research on him, like I said, when I buy a figure, I always check out the card backs and that. He didn't come with any slime at all. So you had to actually buy that also.
Buy the ooze,
and put it in yourself. And so it was a pretty cool figure. He had there's a teddy bear inside him here when you look at it. There's fish bones. There's so much to look at, you know. I loved this hand here because you had like very hard to see. You had a worm coming out of it.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty freaky looking. But he also had some funny things on his card back. His height was they couldn't measure him because he smelled too bad to measure. His favorite movie was The Wizard of the Ooze. Nice. So obviously the comical coming out of it. Favorite musician was Uzi Osbourne. So obviously an Ozzy Osbourne reference there, you know. So
and he
definitely a cool figure. One thing I will suggest, if anyone does have this figure, throw a bit of tissue in there, makes him sit up a hell of a lot better.
That's a good idea.
He'll just fall down, you won't even see him. So
pro tip from Dan. I like that.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those ones where they just in the cartoon. I can recall he was a garbage man. Joe Eyeball was his sidekick, who was another garbage man. They got hit with mutagen or ooze or whatever you want to call it, and it might have been a ray gun. I can't exactly recall what it was, but they both mutated. And to be honest, he was a full-grown man, Joe Eyeball, and he turned into this little, you know. So Muckman really got the good end of the stick there, kinda in a way. But
do you like?
Yeah, definitely one that's. If you are getting into turtles, purchase this one, and you will be able to you'll look at it for over an hour and find different stuff. There's so much on it.
Yeah, the detail's mad. No, I've seen some repaints of it that pick up a lot of that detail, and it's really, I mean, I wouldn't personally do that, but it's wicked to look at.
It is. There's some cool customs. They've done some all right retro releases. I know they brought out one in like 2012 that's totally different looking, but it was for the cartoon of the time or whatever they had. So, which Dean picked up recently. I think you picked up, didn't you? I know you picked Mutagen Man up. But they're just, you can't beat this one.
Definitely not.
Yeah, the only thing that
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about the figure is his foot, like having the
trash, the sewer lid.
Funny,
it's
the
funny.
sewer lid. Funny you say that. There's a lot of love for Muckman. Like, we're getting 20 slices out of 8 for Ollie. We're getting 2 whole pizzas from Yeehaw. But Jeff, who, you know, I don't want to speak too strongly here, but Jeff is crushing Muckman over here. And it's funny, when I was chatting with Jeff, I don't know whether this was in the YouTube comments or whatever, but Jeff's got a drama with figures that have different feet. And we were using Worm as the example. He didn't like Worm because of the tentacle leg, and it's the same with Muckman. Doesn't like it when the feet are different to one another.
Yeah, well,
I love it. He stands up perfect in my cabinet. So
Jeff would have to be the first person I've ever met that didn't like Muckman.
It's interesting. I mean, we've all got our things that we like and dislike, but yeah, Jeff's got like a little bee in his bonnet when it comes to figures that have different feet.
And so what sort of slices are you giving for it?
Yeah, what are we getting?
I'll probably still go. So it's out of 8. So I'd put it at a 6 for the fact of maybe the no, because I'm looking at it as it's a perfect figure in my eyes. Other than I guess the foot is going to suffer with playability for some kids, maybe. So, and the fact that they didn't put slime in the packaging, don't advertise that he got slime. It comes out of him, and it's not in there now. Maybe some countries allowed it. Maybe there was something out there. I'm not 100% sure, but I know the ones I've looked up don't have it. So
no, you're not
sold separately.
It's a good point because Sean's making another good point here about Muckman reminding him of Toxic Crusaders. It's the same for me. Like, Muckman looks like he would belong in the universe of the Toxic Crusaders. And if we're talking Toxic Crusaders, the figure that Muckman makes me think of is No Zone, who had the slime feature with his schnoz, and he came with a little canister of not ooze, but toxic waste. For the Toxic Crusaders, obviously their ooze was toxic waste. And he came with the little canister just so you could have some fun with his backpack and with his nose feature. So I agree. It would have been good if Muckman just had a little tiny built-in pack of ooze, I think.
And his character in the cartoon wasn't that great in my eyes. He's a bit of a pushover.
I've also got to bring up here Carl showing some big love to the moustache, the Tom Selleck. Is worth 8 slices on its own.
I think
Carl's for an extra week.
Carl's still growing his, but I'll give it back.
Yeah, Ollie reckons you're judging harshly here with 6 slices. Look, I could see 7 if you want to leave some room for improvement with some pack-in slime, but I think 6 is a bit harsh.
It definitely makes
I've got to look at every aspect of it, the playability of it too.
No, I'm with you. Jeff, not at all, buddy. Listen, we've all got our things that we like and our things that we don't like, and that's why we do this, mate. That's why we do this live, because I love, hearing what you guys are into and not so into, mate. So that's fine. It's a little quirk of collecting that we all have. So that's all good, buddy.
So what do we got? We got 15 minutes.
All righty. Let's crack on. And look, if we go a touch over, we go a touch over. But we'll try and keep. We'll try and stick to the time as best we can. So next up, we're going to bring it home. We're going to finish tonight's episode with our favorite pickups of 2023. What do we got? We've got a week and a bit left in the year. I'm not going out of my way still to pick stuff up. So I can put a capstone on my year of collecting TMNT. So do you guys want to do top 3?
Yeah.
I reckon we do 1 each and go around and just keep going around.
Yeah, we'll see what time does to us then.
Okay. All righty.
Maybe.
Unless you want to go if you want to go till 12, then we can sing happy birthday.
We'll sign off by wishing you a happy birthday regardless.
I'm going to ring you at 12.
Please do.
I want to be the first to wish you a happy birthday.
All right, well, let's do 1 each.
Who's kicking us off?
Dean, the birthday boy. Get him up.
All right.
Before he gets older.
Let's do it. So, definitely, just looking at my collection, just thinking to myself, top 5, I was like, oh, this is terribly difficult. And added a lot this year. So, I'm going to go with Murdude. Nice. So, what's that? 1992. So, I did some reading up about this guy. And this is literally the Turtles Aquaman. So Shredder tried to drain the sea. So now, because of that, this guy's the king of the oceans, and so he's a good guy. So he helps the turtles where he can. He has the same powers as Aquaman, so he can control all the creatures. He has his trusty trident, and then keeping it on the turtles line, he's got his sea star, so we can throw that. Then he's got this O2 blaster that he can shoot people with
oxygen.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
love that.
He's got his which is awesome sculpt is a sea.
Yeah, that's sick.
That is a cool
story.
So that they are his accessories, and just looking at him, and I don't know what it is, but this is actually it's like his shield, but it's actually a bug. If you have a look, I don't know if you can see, you can see the two eyeballs of it. It's kind of like what we call like a Balmain bug or something like that.
I'd never noticed that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that figure though, and it's how you were talking about with the Toon figures, how they got like a bit of pearlescent finish on it. Murdude does as well. Mine does.
Yeah. He does. Yeah, he has a bit of a shine to him. Play feature when it comes to his legs is completely limited because he's.
I want to know how Jeff feels about Murdude, because Murdude's only got one leg. Oh. Jeff, is Murdude okay with you, or are you cool with him? Or
so he's great to stand up because he's sort of got that flat, but I put them all on pegs anyway. But play value, because it's all just one solid bit of plastic, that doesn't do anything. But I'm a massive Aquaman fan. This guy was a big pickup for me this year. I had a focus list. This guy was there on that list, so I was happy to pick him up and 100% complete. So that's one of mine.
Awesome. Go for it, Daniel.
Okay, so my lovely wife, we went to a toy convention, and if you remember the 3D bubble back sort of signs that went on walls as a kid, it had Ninja Turtles, it had a character every now and then. We spotted one, and I think it was like, let's just say Raph and Donnie. And as you know, it's got to have Mikey on it if I'm going to buy one of them at least. So my wife surprised me, and she got me this beautiful bad boy.
Oh,
that's
so I got my Mikey. Sat there, I'm eyeing it, I'm wearing it when she gave it to me as a surprise. Not to realize she got me a Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Sorry, it's backwards for people, but yeah. So
no, it's not
that. It's shown correct.
It is correct. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I love that.
So,
that's
yeah,
good.
so
That's
obviously you've got the different release. We didn't get Ninja Turtle, like we got Ninja Turtles over here. So
yeah,
that was definitely a must, and it's pristine too. I think it's got one slight little crack, but yeah, over here on the lettering. But like I said to my wife, she was a bit worried about it. I said a lot of them cracked when you put them up, because some of it was very thin where the lettering cut in and that. So yeah, so that's definitely one of my more fun pickups I've got this year. I suppose.
That's wicked.
So we all know the story of like the Hero Turtles over in like Europe and that, where they couldn't use Ninja. Is that the case anymore? Are they allowed, like?
I don't think so. No.
Did Mutant Mayhem movie come out as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles Mutant Mayhem?
I'm assuming. I assume so, but yeah, I would imagine so. But good question. Yeah, let us know if anyone happens to know in the comments. And Jeff's just chatting about some stuff he's picked up, which is awesome. Like, guys, feel free to chime in the chat with what some of your favorite pickups were this year. So I'll lead in with one, and just I'll go for my number one, my favorite turtle pickup for the year, because if we don't quite get to the full three, I don't want to count up and I don't get to my number one. So we'll do that one first. So yeah, guys, there's only one number one for me, and it's my Killer Bee, the Mega Mutant Killer Bee from 1990. Dean mentioned, his focus list. I also had a similar approach this year. Like, I did a live stream at the very start of the year with Matt from Keep On Collecting, where we did like a top 5 wish list to just try to see, to try and look back on it, 12 months later, which we're going to do in a couple of weeks' time, to see how we went. And Killer Bee and his nemesis Needle Nose were number one on my list. So I haven't managed to find a Needle Nose yet, but I'm stoked that I managed to get one of those 2 Mega Mutants with Killer Bee. I missed out on at least, no, I missed out on 2 throughout the year. One that popped up on eBay in February that like I ummed and ahed about, and another one that popped up on a Facebook auction that Dan ended up getting in his collection, which thanks to his wife Monique, which is fine. I was annoyed at myself until I found out who got them. So that's and in the end I was able to get my own Killer Bee. So wicked sculpt. I love the colors. I love all the translucent features. I love the kind of storytelling and character development that goes into this figure with like the rabid ex-convict Killer Bee with the electric chair, saddle and everything. I just think it's sick. Comes with a ton of great accessories and he's complete. So it was number 1 on my focus list for the year across all toy lines. So I'm stoked that I managed to get Killer Bee in the collection this year. That's number 1 for me, which I'll get out of the way.
Love the colors.
And yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to follow on from that, Scott.
Okay.
Raise you.
I'm not going to raise you. I'm going to equal you and be like, So again, focus list, needle nose. All right, so 1990 needle nose, and I was looking at him today. He is 100% complete with all these things. So a little story that came out of this was picked it up from an auction page on Facebook from Phil, that we know from Toytacular, and then it was only missing the shield. That was the only bit. So I thought, look, they're not popping up that much anymore. I'm going to take a 99% complete one. But toy community, as it is, being legends out there, Owen from Here for Toys, he reached out and he said, hey, dude, I've got this. I'll see you at the next CollectorCon. So it only took a week or 2. And in the end, with those 2 awesome guys, I had a complete needle nose to add to the collection. So also
That's
got
awesome.
his gun that goes with it. The one thing I noticed on is, and I haven't looked it up, is he's got a rank sticker here.
Yeah.
You know what rank he is? Anyone know? In the comments?
Do you struggle to stand up your?
What are we talking about?
This doesn't stand well.
He's
got like
always floats down on the front. Always.
Yeah, they don't stand. He doesn't stand too well. I put him on the Technodrome, sort of climbing over.
Okay.
So that is just look at that nutcase face. So he's the good guy. Why Killer Bee, the one Scott showed, fights for the bad guys.
Guys, I'm a dead set dickhead. I keep forgetting that Manic Moji's Phil.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, sorry, Phil. Sorry, buddy. Gosh, I feel like he's told us that's his YouTube handle before. So anyway, sorry about that.
Check him out on Instagram, Toy Tactica. He's just got on that recently.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Phil.
definitely jump on. Definitely give Toytacular a follow on Instagram for sure. Yeah, Phil, I've been seeing Phil on Instagram sharing photos of his Metal Mutants TMNT figures he's been piecing together. Those things came later on in the line, so I don't really even have them on my radar, but they look wicked. They're sick-looking figures.
I've never even seen them at a convention. I've never seen them in all my time.
Very Japanese. I love them.
And yeah, Phil's talking about his Darkwing stuff he's been picking up.
Yeah. I'm so jealous he got that 12-inch. That's one of my grails.
And Jeff's saying the hero bit died a bit, so obviously Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles is firmly a thing of the past by the sounds of it.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, no.
Just probably a government change.
Thank you, Joel.
Who knows? Who's up? Dan, you up?
Okay. Yep. All right. So me being me, I love quirky shit. So when I seen these come up for sale, and I'm going to cheat here, I've got 3 of them, but Brazilian Coca-Cola bottle caps.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're
sick.
Individual characters. Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop. You got Krang, Splinter. And then you got the brothers over here. And also April.
You said Brazilian, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's where I got these off our good man Tony B, and that's where he said they were from. So I could be wrong. I don't even know. These could be reprinted. Who knows? They could be bootleg, I have not done any research, but I have. Yeah, there's more. And obviously, I didn't stick them to it. I've put some magnets on the back, so they stay
nice.
there.
That's a clever.
This one's one of my favorite because
are they like a sort of game, or have you found
no,
any?
they were actually seriously like bottle lid caps. They were.
Well, was it? Is there a purpose? Have you looked up if there's a purpose behind?
I haven't done any research on them, to be honest. I didn't want to find out.
It's probably similar to the collector coin set we had, where it's just a collectible deal, just
promotion, sort of thing. So.
To sell bottles of Coke, mate. You know what I mean? Coke would have licensed it just to move units.
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
Got Mikey on a thing, and then
sick.
There's one more. So there's the next one there. So they were different, and as soon as something different comes up, I fall for it every time, But
for sure,
as Tony B, our good mate Tony B, he looks after us, and he gave me a good deal on them. So
were they a Collecticon pickup or?
Nah, they were. I think one I seen in a picture, and he was nice enough to put it aside for me, and then I ended up buying. Actually, no, one was a Collecticon pickup. So, and then I bought one off a live auction. So, my wife bought him. My wife bought him. She's the money bags bought him. So, but no, she's good.
Shout out, Tony B. Nick Smith coming in hot. Yeah, he picked up a hotspot and an invisible Mikey off Greenie. That's awesome. Those are some heavy hitters, and even more special that you got them off Greenie. You know what I mean? So I'm
assuming one thing about Greenie too. A lot of his figures were off card, pretty much. They were so pristine. Sure.
Greenie wasn't big on selling if it was missing any accessories, so I bet you that invisible Mikey was 100% complete.
Yeah,
and hotspot.
Yeah, definitely.
The only thing I know he had incomplete was his undercover Mikey that he had at the end there, but as you know, you're never finding a complete one to it.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
So that's awesome. I've seen it through a Perspex box. That'll be as close as I get.
I know that. Alrighty, well, mate. Unfortunately, I don't have an invisible Mikey or a hotspot, but I got to give this one a shout. This was a recent or relatively recent pickup. Antrax. I've got one of his accessories still in the cabinet. I didn't bring them all down, but when it comes to vintage TMNT, as much as I love, the Turtles and Rocksteady and Bebop and those characters, when it comes to just the pure figures, that if it's a figure that I don't have a nostalgic connection to, it's these sorts of figures that I want to be picking up, because to me, this is some of the best work that Playmates did, these sorts of wild mutant figures. And I think Antrax is a really good example of that. I think Antrax is I want to say 91. I don't think he's 92. I'm pretty sure he's 91.
91, I think you're right, yeah.
Just a mad-looking, mutant ant with wicked accessories. And the thing with this is, I'm always happy to pick up figures incomplete and then piece them together if I can. But Antrax is always a figure that I wanted to buy complete just because of those pesky antenna there. To find them on their own and to find them unbroken. I picked up an Antrax before this that had they were snapped off with with them hanging. I was just I didn't want to deal with that. So I'm really happy to have picked up a complete one at a Collecticon a couple of months back. And big shout out to Owen from Here for Toys. Check out Here for Toys on Insta. A lot, the three of us have all got a bunch of cool stuff from Owen, and I was really happy to add Antrax to the collection this year. Okay. This is probably number 3 out of my ones I pulled out. So yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Shoot, Dave.
So, my next one isn't a figure that's crazy. Fugitoid. Just the figure by itself. But the story behind this was Kevin Eastman was at Supernova. And if you know, Fugitoid was his comic just before Turtles. So he wrote a comic about this robot, which then eventually went into the Turtles universe through the comics and the cartoons and TV shows and all that stuff. But I thought, if I'm going to get a photo with him, I might get him to hold Fugitoid. So, I had this little Fugitoid and I got Kevin to hold it in the photo. So my idea now is to have a plastic Perspex case where I'll put the issue 1 comic that I got signed by him, and I'll have this figure in there, and sort of a little collection of turtle memorabilia for my collection.
So, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I suppose that's like that's a big, kind of like a big moment of your turtle collecting that happened this year. I mean, it's a moment more so than an item, but to be able to commemorate that moment with a cool little shadow box style display, like you're describing, with a signed comic, and I'm assuming you'll put the photo in there with the figure.
Yes, yeah, I will. Yeah, like just to look at all the turtles and say, if it wasn't for these 2 guys, you wouldn't have all these. And then just say, like, when he got it, he was like, "Oh, Fugitoid, I love him."
And I remember you saying he was excited.
I was like, "That's awesome." So, it made me think as a toy collector, and I do go to a lot of the Comic Cons and that to meet people that have played characters that are the toys that we collect. It's something that I'm going to look at moving forward. Just if they allow me to bring in the toy and enjoy that moment a little bit more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Guys, my dog is snoring really loudly, so I apologize if that's coming through. It's really demoralizing when you're trying to entertain and you can just hear like a snore track over the top of you.
Well, you can't hear it, Scott.
Okay, good. It's good. No. Daniel, what do you got for me?
I better do a figure then, because I'm going to be.
Well, let's go around one last time. I mean, guys, we've hit the hour and a half mark. Let's just go around one more time and we'll wrap it up.
All right. Well, I've got one for Jeff. He's going to love this. Worm. So yeah, this is one I've been chasing for a while now.
Yeah, Jeff's mate.
Yeah, he's gonna love this little bit. So yeah, she's a pretty cool figure. I must admit, I don't know if you guys could tell me about your one, but the actual chest piece is a lot shinier than the limbs with the green.
Oh, okay.
So I was always chasing one thinking, this looks sun faded,
Yeah,
so it is.
Mine's shinier on the chest than it is the
Okay,
arms.
so yeah, no, I got this one going, so I was thinking it was good, but it's fine in a way, I suppose. But it just is slightly off color on the limbs. But yeah, I got him he's got his worms. I think I'm missing one worm on it, but that didn't bother me. I just wanted a good representation of him, whatever you call it. Yeah, I only found out tonight his eyes pop out and all that sort of stuff. So I haven't played with him enough. I got him and just threw him in the cabinet, and yeah, I haven't had a chance. So I only got him a couple of weeks ago. So give me a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, the colors are just amazing. Like I'm all about now trying to get, I'm trying to collect almost every character, but I'm loving getting these different colors that are just going to pop along the cabinet, and then you start moving figures around to try to blend it all in, So yeah, this one's just a crazy figure. So that was definitely a good pickup. I missed out on him a couple of times, and then there was ones where it was missing one piece. And the worms I can handle. They're in a baggie anyway, so I'm not putting them on him. So
you can hook them on his teeth though, like
yeah. So what we do is my daughter, we have turtle night, so I let her grab certain turtles out of the cabinet and that, so she can kind of understand that these ones are special. You can play with them, but you got to play gentle because you've got yours to roughen around. So I haven't put them in it just for that fact. She can still take it out. And so yeah, but it's a cool figure, and yeah, definitely one I was chasing for a while. So
yeah, there's a wicked figure.
That being said, too, I did get both the Mega Mutants this year as a surprise from my wife. So, and I didn't know you both got yours, so I just thought I wouldn't put my ones in for that because it actually was a gift. So, but they were probably
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So they would be your number one then.
The Mega Mutants this year, just because, as you know, and anyone that's watched Scott's videos would see in one of his videos previously that my wife surprised me with the Mega Mutants. I went to a toy convention, bought one item, and old mate hands me a box. And I'm like, the hell's the box for? Like, I'm not going to carry a box around all day. I opened it up, and Scott was already in on this and filmed it. And yeah, all of a sudden I see that I own 2 Mega Mutants and a free foot soldier. He threw in a foot soldier too. So yeah, so I got lucky there. But yeah, that was as you can see in the video, I was pretty speechless. I didn't know what to say.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's cool because despite what it may look like with Dean grabbing Needle Nose, me grabbing Killer Bee, and Dan grabbing both of them, you don't really see them that often here, eh? Like it's, I think we've done well to have each got one or in Dan's case both, because they've been at the top of my list, and I thought I was maybe not going to get either of them. So because you don't see them all the time, so yeah, it's awesome that we all managed to at least get.
To have the story similar like what Dean had with his Needle Nose, he bought it incomplete, one thing missing. As you know, sometimes you might not find that thing for another year. Yeah. Dean found it within a week, within a couple of days, you know. So it was like, that's a little story he's got with that thing. So when you open stuff up for Christmas, it's like you've got that story of his childhood if you can remember it.
Yeah.
But when you've got your adult collection and you've got these little stories that evolve around that one figure or one vehicle, whatever it ends up being, like I always remember my wife got them as a surprise for me and blew my mind in a way. She's done more since then, but it's always going to be a story to go back on when I look at them, and I can tell people too, you know. So it's not just I went and bought that off eBay and I've got it in the collection now. Same with Dean, and same with you, Scott. You missed out on twice, so you've always got that little story, you know.
And again, like that, it's. I'm glad I managed to capture that moment in the video. That's the cool thing about like making the videos is you've got a record of some of these finds, which is just a bonus. So
I love you, babe.
I am. I am glad that Scott and I are both looking for the opposite one in the coming year. So that would suck.
Good point. Phil's saying we need a strobe warning with your lights. No, it's fine, mate. It's fine for me.
I forget people watch it on a big TV. Like I'm on the laptop, and then on a big TV, it's like,
who's next? Is it you? Is it you?
Yeah. All right, so I'll do my last one. My last one's not like a massive like figure that everyone's like super excited about, but this was a figure that eluded me for a good 8-9 months. This figure finished, what was it? The 1991 wave of figures for me. So it's the wacky action head spinning Bebop figure. Now this thing is pretty cool. Out of all the wacky actions, this one. Sorry.
It's a mad figure still.
Yeah. But out of all the wacky action figures, this one's perfect. This is the one that is a lot of fun. So pretty much, I haven't wound him up, but his head spins around. You can pull off these weapons and change them over in his forehead. He's got his cool little glasses, so he looks all wacky. His tongue's all floppy. Like that. He's got his belt. What's on his belt? He's got like a rat trap, a torch, water bottle. Nothing too interesting, but I love this. I went into a convention probably 3 months ago now, and he was sitting there. I just grabbed him. I didn't even look at the dollar. I just went, mine. Thank you. Finally, I have him. He was complete. I'm a happy man. That rounds off my top 3 from this year. Sick. So there we go.
That's awesome.
And another one on my focus list. So it was really good having
such a good figure, isn't he? Like Bebop's just, in my eyes, probably one of the best villain figures. Like if you go through all the different variants, just the original Bebop's probably the best original line figure. You know, like it's just
best 88 figure. Yeah, I think Rocksteady and Bebop to me are the best 88 figures for sure. But Bebop's
Rocksteady.
What's that?
The grey with Rocksteady just I don't know. True. I think it's true. It's not bright. I think I need.
No, you're right. I had Rocksteady as a kid. I didn't have Bebop, so the nostalgia probably levels the playing field for me. But as far as the figure on the merits of its sculpt and paint, I think it's hard not to lean the way of Bebop for sure. And I want to just call out Nick here. You know, you're 100% right, mate. Like I think of collecting as a process. It's not called owning toys; it's collecting toys. So the stories around which things came into your possession or you found things are what it's all about. And you've got a really cool story here about someone in the community hooking you up, and that's another cool part of it. Like, you know, there was my first couple of years of collecting, we're just doing it solo without sharing anything on socials or So it's the experience has become so much better in terms of like meeting people in the community and being able to help one another. So I couldn't agree with you more there. Let me just bring it home with my last one. It's Scaletail. This was like one of the this was probably I probably picked this up at the first CollectorCon of the year. So this was like an early 2023 pickup, but it still makes the top 3 just because of how sick a figure it is. Like, it's obviously not at the scale of a Mega Mutant, right? Like, it's obviously not. It's smaller, but it feels bigger. It feels bigger than a normal figure. I mean, see, Anthrax is also quite a big figure, but just with the tail and everything, it feels like it should be. It feels like it shouldn't have been released on card back at the same price as a regular Turtles figure, don't you reckon, guys? I mean, you guys have got this.
100%. I'd also like to know Jeff's thoughts on this one.
Another great question, Jeff. If we can get your feelings on Scaletail. Look, Jeff made a comment before about how like he kind of lost interest in it once we get to some of these later waves, but yeah, Scaletail's wicked. He is complete with the exception of his whip. I just need his whip. Which, I mean, I've seen that accessory go for like $30 or $40. So I'm not like going out of my way to pay up on eBay for it, because at the end of the day, he's only got one gripping hand. So he's got his backpack, but he's got one gripping hand. So it's not like I feel like I need to go out of my way to get that whip, but I will eventually, because we're sick and we like to complete our figures.
That is the same part I'm missing, Scott. The whip seems to elude everyone.
Yeah,
I see a new comment person has comments.
Interesting to compare the Oz and US markets. Would have to be hard there in Australia to find original stuff. Yeah, I mean it feels like everything's trickier here in Australia. Like when I watch toy hunting videos of the US and UK, it seems like this stuff that is like we have to really go out of our way to look for is more plentiful in the US and also the UK for sure. We've got Lauren joining us. G'day. Is this a friend or relative?
That's my mom. Go the next one. Go the next one that she put on.
This one?
Merry Christmas, Lauren.
Yeah, that one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. That's awesome. But guys, that'll do us. I just want to hammer through these last few comments.
Yeah.
Thank you, HQ.
Oh, appreciate it, Swery. Yeah, I mean, it's freaking awesome, man. I mean,
we all started somewhere, like
yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, it just keeps growing. Community is half the fun.
It really does, for sure. You know what? Sorry, guys. I'm just remembering a comment that I didn't get to. Just Yeehaw chiming in with a quick question about loose or carded. I'll let you guys answer, but Yeehaw, mate, I'm a loose collector. I do have some carded bits and pieces, but they're just figures that came along at the right price, because I do like, in theory, the idea of having like a carded example of each figure line that I collect, but I don't go out of my way to collect carded. I prefer to have them loose just because of price and because of space and displayability, stuff like that.
Yeah, I only own 2 carded figures. Nothing great. Metalhead and April. I'm completely loose because I want to touch and play with them, have fun. So, yeah,
I'm with you. I want to pose them with their weapons and have them interacting with one another. Have the 4 turtles next to one another. Have all the villains, ganging up. That's how I like to display. So loose is the way to go for me.
Yeah, I'm same. Like, I'm loose. I like to feel my figures. I like to see what the back of them looks like and all that. So I was like, imagine Muckman on a card. You can't see half of him. But I've now got a little sickness where I've figured out that certain card backs are amazing looking. Now, this is going to shine big time, but that's Scaletail right there. So you've got
that's
all
so
this
sick.
cool artwork, so I'm chasing Hothead. Hothead's got an amazing card back. So now I've got to chase Hothead loose with the card back still. So I'm not going to pop one off card because I can't do that to a mock collector. I feel bad. Like if I went and bought one, and the money's stupid too if I was going to do it. Tell you what, it'd be fun to hurt some people's feelings pulling it off card. But I kind of now need to yeah, I got a sickness, so now I got to find one with a card back too. So.
Well, there's worse sicknesses. There's worse sicknesses.
There's worse things that
We've
can
all
happen
got
in
it.
life, you know. So
For
I
sure.
have found one, but then I've also found out that Hothead's got 3 different releases. So you've got the really nice card back, then you've got a card back that looks similar to like Scratches with just a turtle head on it.
Yeah.
And yes, so yeah, it's a headache collecting, but it also gives you those little goals to tick off.
For sure. For sure.
You know.
And yeah, Jeff makes an interesting point here about like Scaletail and Anthrax were both standard package and standard price. It feels like there's like it when you look at some of these figures compared to others, it feels like some really have bang for buck in terms of either the number of accessories or just the scale, or in the case of Scaletail, no pun intended, like all the extra articulation and features and stuff like that. So yeah,
there you go. $6.99 Scaletail was. So
bargain.
yeah, so that's KB Toys. That might even be Aussie, is it? It wasn't KB.
No,
Toys.
KB's American, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, Dan, you're definitely not the only person that's been afflicted by that sickness. We've all got it. We've all got it.
It's good. It's good to have goals in life, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure,
Even
mate.
They are collecting toys.
Look, it's good to have stuff that's not work related or not family related that you look for. You know what I mean? Like it's good to have. Yeah. It's good to have hobbies and passions and interests, stuff that you get excited about that gives you some separation from work and the pressures of being an adult and stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's all about for me. You know what I mean?
And this MUTAGENTS
and the community. I mean, I wouldn't have you guys for mates. You know, if we didn't have this sickness. So
we will be back next year. We'll tweak a couple of little things, but we will be back.
Disturb is amazing, Jeff. I love Disturb.
All righty. Well, yeah, we'll wind it up there, guys, because we're going well over time. We're really approaching 2 hours now at this point in time. So we've still got 18 people joining us, which is just friggin' awesome. So, guys, thank you so much. We'll be back we'll be back for a January episode, guys, towards the end of January.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
big
probably
shout out to the chat too. Like, you guys have been amazing for the past couple of streams. You know, like, well, what are we on our 5th now? Is it?
We are on our 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, 5th.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
If you guys didn't turn up, we wouldn't be able to talk. We would be talking shit just the 3 of us, you know. So
well,
I suppose we could do that. But
we wouldn't be going for almost 2 hours if not for all your guys' awesome questions and comments and the back and forth. We love it. Wouldn't be the same without you guys. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Too.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas, whatever you do.
You know it is.
Carl's still putting the knife in.
Catch
you all in the new year.
So yeah, we hope you guys have a super Merry Christmas and you and your families have a great holidays and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you sometime in January. I'll be back before then with a video or two. But yeah, in this format, we'll see you sometime towards the latter part of January. So I hope you guys enjoy the holidays. Before we wrap up, obviously we've got to wish Dino a happy birthday for tomorrow. Make sure you guys follow Totally Taylor Retro Hunters on Insta and hit him with a birthday message tomorrow. And obviously, while I'm at it, give Insane in the Toy Brain a follow on Insta and show these guys on the top left some love as well. And yeah, thanks again, guys.
No, next year.
You 40 yet, Dean?
Next year.
32.
18. on 21.
32 for the 7th time.
You can drink this year, mate.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, take care, guys.
All right, guys. Catch you later. Have a good one. Happy holidays, and we'll see you soon.